Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out something that I'm really excited to be unboxing today. The Ninja Prestige Smart Extra Large Countertop Oven. Now this thing is a kind of a beast. It's not just a toaster oven or an air fryer. It's both and a lot more. Ninja claims it can bake, roast, air fry, toast, reheat, and even fit a 12-pound turkey. That's pretty wild for something that can sit on your countertop. So in this video, we're going to unbox it, go over everything that comes in the box, talk about the design, build, quality, features, and who I think this oven is actually perfect for. By the end, you'll have a really good idea whether this is all-in-one oven is worth adding to your kitchen. All right, let's get started. So right out of the box, Ninja includes a few things that are actually really handy. And I have to say, it's packaged really well. Nothing feels cheap or rushed here, which is always a good first impression in my opinion. The first thing you'll see in the box is the user manual and of course the quick start guide. Now, I know most of us usually toss those aside or think, yeah, I'll figure it out on my own. But honestly, I do really recommend keeping these around. This oven does a lot more than just air fry. There are several cooking modes, temperature adjustments, and tray positions that actually make a big difference in how your food turns out. So if you're new to Ninja ovens or multifunction appliances, it's worth flipping through this and keeping it around until you get more used to using the oven. Then there's a recipe booklet, and I always appreciate that Ninja includes one of these. They're not overly complicated, they're more like quick, easy ideas that help you get started. Things like sheet pan dinners, for example, or roasted veggies, and even some desserts. It's a great way to get a feel for what the oven can do without having to search online or experiment too much right away. It's just right in your face, and it just involves no searching, which again, so handy. So next up are the accessories. You get 4 of them. The air fry basket, which I'll show you in a bit, a sheet pan, a wire rack, and a crumb tray. Everything feels really solid. The air fry basket especially has a nice sturdy feel. It's not thin or bendy like some of the cheaper ones you find with other brands. It looks like it would handle a lot of batches of fries or wings without warping. The sheet pan has a nice finish too. It's not too light, so it shouldn't twist or pop when it heats up. And the wire racks fits perfectly inside, so you can stack things or bake multiple items at once. The crumb tray is simple, but it slides out smoothly, which will definitely make cleaning easier later on. Finally, the star of the show, the oven itself. Pulling it out of the box, it definitely has some weight to it, which to me is a good sign. Heavier usually means better build quality, and it feels like a well-made appliance rather than a lightweight toaster oven, which is what you want out of this oven. The exterior is stainless steel. It has that modern Ninja look that fits right in with the rest of their lineup. It's got those sharp, squared off edges and just the right amount of shine to look premium without being too flashy. I like that it's sleek but still practical. It'll look good on pretty much any kitchen counter in my opinion. There's a nice big handle on the front of the oven, and the glass door feels like thick and solid. Not the thin, wobbly kind you sometimes get. You can also see the interior pretty clearly, which is great when you're cooking and want to keep an eye on your food without opening it. On the top, you'll find the control panel. It's cleanly laid out with a digital display and a few simple knobs. I'll go into the controls a bit more later, but just from the design alone, it feels intuitive. Nothing confusing or cluttered. One thing I already like is that it doesn't take up a ton of counter space for what it can do. It's compact enough that it won't dominate your kitchen, but still feels large enough inside to fit things like a 12-inch pizza or a decent-sized batch of wings. Overall, right out of the box, everything looks really polished. The presentation, the build, quality, even the little details like how the trays fit and how the handle feels is all gives the impression that Ninja put some real thought into this oven. So, before I even plug it in, I'm already getting the sense that this is going to be one of those appliances that can replace a few others, which is exactly what you want when a counter space is limited. I'm starting off by making a pizza. I just went with a regular frozen one to keep things simple. I wanted to see how well this cooks something that needs good top and bottom heat. It's heated up in about 1.5 minutes, which is really quick. The crust started crisping up pretty fast, and you can actually see the cheese bubbling even across the top. No cold spots or overdone edges. The crust came out golden and crunchy on the bottom, but still soft in the middle. Kind of that perfect in-between texture you want from a pizza. The cheese melted evenly, and it didn't dry out the toppings, which is usually what happens with smaller ovens. Flavor-wise, I'm impressed. Everything cooked through evenly, and it actually tastes closer to a pizza oven bake than I expected. For a quick lunch or a movie night snack, this setup definitely passes the pizza toast. When I first set it down, my initial thought was how solid it feels. The door has this nice, smooth hinge action. It opens and closes quietly with a good seal, and it doesn't feel cheap at all whatsoever. The handle is wide and comfortable, which is something I like. It's great when you're moving hot trays in and out. The knobs and controls on the front feel firm and clicky. That's something I always look for because it tells you a lot about build quality. In terms of size, it's definitely bigger than a standard toaster oven, but it still is compact enough to sit on your countertop without dominating the entire space. If you've got limited kitchen space, this might actually replace a few other gadgets as well, which is really handy. And then the stainless steel finish is brushed, so it hides fingerprints better than most shiny metal appliances. That's one of those small quality of life details that make a big difference when you're using it daily. Let's talk about the design a little more because that's where Ninja always nails it. The front control panel is digital with physical knobs instead of all touch controls. Personally, I prefer that because it's easier to adjust settings precisely, and you can do it even if your hands are wet or messy from cooking. The display is bright and easy to read. It shows you the temperature, time, and which mode you're using all at a glance. Now, one thing I like about this model is how intuitive it is. You don't need to go through a bunch of menus just to toast bread or bake something. You simply turn the dial to select the function, adjust your time and temp, and hit start. It's got 10 different cooking functions built in: air fry, bake, roast, toast, bagel, broil, dehydrate, reheat, pizza, and cookies. So basically everything you could want from an oven or air fryer is right here in this oven. The inside lighting also turns on automatically when you open the door, which sounds small, but is actually super handy when you can see what's cooking without having to pull the tray out every single time you want to check it. Now let's talk about the inside, because this oven is surprisingly spacious. Ninja says it can fit up to a 12-pound turkey or a full 12-inch pizza, or even 2 pans of food side by side. That's a lot of room for a countertop oven, don't you think? There are multiple rack positions, which gives you flexibility depending on what you're cooking. You can toast up top, bake in the middle, or roast something larger down low. What I also like is that the oven is designed to circulate hot air evenly throughout the chamber. So even though it's compact, everything should cook evenly. And the crumbs tray slides out easily from the bottom. It might sound basic, but having that quick access means cleaning is actually doable instead of a chore. It's those little design touches like the smooth interior coating and the roomy layout that make a big difference in daily use. So this oven uses what Ninja likes to call their smart cook system. What that means is the oven can automatically adjust temperature and cooking time based on the setting you choose. It's meant to take this guesswork out of cooking at 1800 watts, it's one of the more powerful countertop ovens out there. That means it preheats really fast. We're talking under 2 minutes to get to baking temperature. And it should maintain even heat throughout the cook. If you get the version with the built-in temp thermometer, you can also track internal temperatures for things like meats, which is awesome for roasting or meal prepping. Basically, the idea here is to give you full-sized oven performance without the full-sized oven. In terms of build, this thing feels tough. The body doesn't flex, the knobs don't wobble, and the overall finish feels premium. It definitely doesn't have that lightweight tin can feel that some cheaper toaster ovens do. The interior has a non-stick coating that makes cleaning way easier. You can just wipe it down with a damp cloth, and the included trays and racks are dishwasher safe, so cleanup is minimal. Ventilation is handled well too. There's good clearance at the back so you can place it near a wall without worrying about overheating. That's always something I check with countertop appliances, and Ninja clearly thought it through. Overall, I'd say this is one of the better built countertop ovens I've seen in this price range. It feels like it'll last. So who is this really for? Honestly, anyone who wants to simplify their kitchen setup. If you live in a small apartment or a dorm, or if you're in an RV like me or a camper, this could easily replace your oven, toaster, and air fryer all in one. It's also great for families who just want a quick, efficient way to cook without firing up the big oven every time, or maybe you just want a second oven during the holidays for side dishes or baking as well. This would be perfect for that. If you're into meal prepping, it's also super convenient. You can roast veggies, bake chicken, toast bread, and reheat leftovers all in one machine. So, wrapping it all up, the Ninja Prestige Smart Extra Large Countertop Oven really does live up to the do-it-all idea. It's got solid build quality, sleek design, intuitive controls, tons of cooking functions, and enough capacity to handle just about anything you throw at it. It's not the cheapest countertop oven out there, but considering that it can replace several different appliances like your air fryer or your toaster and oven, I think the value is definitely there. If you're trying to upgrade your kitchen setup or just want something more versatile, this is one I can absolutely recommend. And as always, I'll have the link for it down below in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. And it really supports the channel as well when you use those links. So thank you so much for that as well. And that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed this unboxing and first impression, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!